Hey everyone, Benny for Absolutely Marvel and DC here, and I've been doing a lot of research on information that has come out across Wandavision. I've got a compiled list of notes and scenes that were deleted and stuff that got altered that they intended to do and stuff that they never intended to do that the fans had kind of got super hyped up about, and I thought it'd be fun to make a more off-the-cuff video about it, since most of this information is from secondary sources. Now first off, let's talk about the big elephant in the room, Ralph Bohner and Darcy. Why was Ralph Bohner just kind of thrown to the side, and why did Darcy not even show up towards the back half of the last episode? Well, as we found out on Fat Man on Batman, the Kevin Smith podcast, they got the director for that episode to come on board and talk about what was going on. Apparently, there was an entire another scene involving Darcy, Monica Rambeau, and Ralph Bohner, in which they were going to go into the Darkhold in Agatha's cellar. There, they were going to run into Senor Scratchy, that weird rabbit that ate the bug, and discover that he was actually a demon. He was going to be Agatha Harkness's familiar and is going to transform into this giant demonic creature. Now, he wasn't going to be Mephisto before all of you go into the comments down below and go, "Hey, Mephisto!" But apparently he compared the moment to the transformation in the film American Werewolf in London, a classic movie, by the way. And then they were going to fight him as he defended the Darkhold, trying to take it. It was going to be a conclusion to the Ralph Bohner, Monica Rambeau, and Darcy Lewis storyline that had been kind of going on. Problem is, that scene got left on the cutting room floor. They ran out of time and couldn't develop all of the stuff for it, so instead they kind of gave us a lackluster finale to Ralph Bohner, and they just didn't bring in Darcy. Now, I have a feeling that this had something to do with them not being able to finish the effects for it, but also due to the fact that we were hit with a pandemic. Because apparently, that also created problems for them with some of the scenes they wanted to do. Supposedly, as I heard from an Emergency Awesome video, Darcy Lewis wasn't brought back in because it was difficult to book her because of the pandemic restrictions. That also kind of, I guess, goes towards the Benedict Cumberbatch stuff. He may have been reaching on some of these theories, but based on a lot of the interviews, they were outright denying a lot of the fan theories, but they never outright denied the idea that they were going to use Doctor Strange. During the time that this was being filmed, apparently Benedict Cumberbatch was locked down in New Zealand due to COVID. So it's very possible that due to COVID restrictions, they kind of limited who was being brought in for that last episode. No one has outright said that they wanted to use Doctor Strange, but we all did find it a bit weird that this is supposed to lead directly into Doctor Strange 2, yet he didn't show up, and he really wasn't mentioned that much. It wasn't even like they were referencing him a whole bunch. So due to the pandemic stalling other things on the show, it's very much a possibility that they just couldn't get Benedict Cumberbatch in for that post-credit scene, and it's only a 15-second post-credit scene. Why jump through hoops when it's just a simple pandemic got in our way thing? That also brings to another thing that was said in quite a few of these podcasts and interviews. They have confirmed they never wanted a big bad. Straight up said that. They never wanted Mephisto. They never wanted Nightmare. They wanted this whole thing to be about Scarlet Witch's grief, which is also why they didn't do anything like giant X-Men reveals or, Doctor Strange shows up to help in the final fight. The whole thing had to be about Scarlet Witch, which is actually a theory that I've been pushing on a lot of our WandaVision videos, that I feel that we as fans were reaching too much into theories and ideas and stuff that we wanted. Instead, they wanted this to be about Scarlet Witch's grief. So if you bring in things like the X-Men and a whole Doctor Strange fight, you're going to totally just throw WandaVision out the window and just turn this into a normal MCU thing. Another thing that has been officially said, the Evan Peters appearance at no point had anything to do with the multiverse, which once again pushes the idea that this whole thing is about Scarlet Witch's grief. Apparently they needed Wanda to be able to confuse her brother with any random person that popped up in the town. They thought it would be fun to use Evan Peters, aka Ralph Bohner, as this other person. A fun way to bring him into the universe and a fun way to show that Wanda was so lost in her own grief, she didn't even notice her brother looked different. Elizabeth Olsen, in an interview, even claimed that she did not even fully understand the multiverse until she was working on Doctor Strange 2. So that kind of confirms that there was never an intention for X-Men or mutants or any of that. It really was just Evan Peters showing up, and the director and the showrunner thought it'd be a fun way to show how far Wanda has gone. Another fun thing that has been going around is that Kevin Feige has stated that they never planned on a season 2. But with the popularity, the show might come back. What he wanted known, though, was that since they didn't plan for it, any loose plot threads that they intended to resolve will be resolved in Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. So whatever they do for a potential season 2 will be an entirely new storyline. His exact words were, "I've been at Marvel too long to say a definitive yes or a definitive no to anything." Well, Lizzie Olsen will go from WandaVision to the Doctor Strange film, and we hope that there's a part 2 and a part 3, but right now we have been focused on part 1. He told members of the press this according to The Independent. And there you have it. That's just a few of the deleted scenes of stuff that's going around. Honestly, if we had gotten more closure to Ralph Bohner, I think I would have enjoyed that more closure to Evan Peters' character. Maybe he shows up and uses his powers to help fight and get the Darkhold. I'm perfectly content and happy with the current show we got over at WandaVision, and I really am happy that this was just a show about Wanda's grief and how she dealt with it. But what do you guys think? Do you think that if they had thrown in all of these deleted scenes, if we had gotten to see a Doctor Strange cameo, if these rumors and interviews and confirmations all turned out to be true, would it have made it a better show or a worse show? Or are you just fine with the way it is now? Don't forget to stick around and check back daily to get theories, opinions, and discussions on your favorite MCU and DCEU shows. I'm Benny for Absolutely Marvel and DC, and I'll see you next time.